how do we talk institutional investors who are the guardians of vast amounts of private capital into putting that money to work in the commercial space industry when they could put that same money to work in lots of other industries that they understand better, that have more understandable markets, and whose risk-reward characteristics they've been dealing with for many years. But in particular, how do you get these institutional investors to part with their money? So I think they did get the sort of visionary statement that sometime in the future this was all going to be immensely valuable, but that wasn't enough to give them the urgency to put money to work today. So just talking about the great future and the vision, wasn't really making the sell. In this time of tight budgets, why can't industry do it itself? Why should the government step in? I think one of the reasons is it is different with industry. The commercial space industry has all of the same risks of any other industry, any other business, and it has a whole set of unique risks that other industries don't share, including potential catastrophic risk that you lose, $1 billion worth of infrastructure. And, it's somewhere where you can't really fix it so easily. So there are extra risks. Again, why should the U.S. government support it? We sort of looked at 4 reasons. This is an important industry for national security and also for economic leadership. It's one of the few industries where the U.S. is still the leader. We're having some challenges to that leadership on some of the more mature sectors, and that challenge will increase over time from low-cost manufacturing, which heightens the need for us to stay on the technology forefront. And to stay on the technology forefront takes a lot of capital to develop and fly, new capabilities. So we sort of looked at the task of achieving support of the commercial space industry. It's really, there's 6 things that needed to be done. It's the first, oddly enough, was NASA needed to do some work changing perceptions. Almost to a person, everyone we contacted said they loved NASA, very impressed with NASA, but they either didn't trust them or had a bad experience or didn't want to work with them, or if they did have to work with them, they were very nervous, or they wanted to minimize the amount of work they did with them. So there's a big perception problem out there that can be fixed and needs to be fixed. We talked about inspiring innovation. Once you have the new technologies, that's not enough. These companies still need support to get through the TRL level and turn it into something that's ready to be demonstrated. Then you need to demonstrate it. Even once you have something that's working, you don't necessarily have a market, so the government needs to help build the market. And again, even when you've got a market, doesn't mean the investors will think the business case is closed to give them the returns that they need for the risks that they've taken. So you have to help enhance the capital formation.